What means the DAM at the enterprise level? To explain to our audience, we are not talking about bugs, Dropbox, things like that. We are talking about DAM and what can be the benefits.
Um, yeah, I think if you think about the role of a dam at an enterprise level, the conceptualization I prefer to use is that of a supply chain. And a dam essentially manages the digital asset supply chain of an organization. It's kind of like the command and control center for all the assets that come into the business and go out of it. So it's doing things like it's transforming what you might call raw media assets, so things like photos, videos, documents, and that sort of stuff, into assets by adding metadata to them. That's I think that's a key fundamental element of enterprise DAM. And then after the raw material has been converted into actual digital assets, it's then facilitating the transfer of those digital assets through all the channels that the business interacts with its users, well, its customers, sorry, and its partners and everybody else outside the business who happens to deal with it. So you can kind of think about it in terms of control as one of the main benefits. So it means bringing like order to the chaos, being able to make sure that staff get access to the latest brand compliant assets and assets that have been approved, and taking away things that haven't been, or yeah, things of that nature. And you can also think about measurement, or what you might call analytics. So basically, if the business has a DAM, you can see what people are downloading and what they're uploading and what the patterns of usage are. And from that, you can begin to start to make improvements to the overall process. This concept of supply chain management, continuous improvement, where you look at your data and say, right, okay, based on the data that we're seeing, how can we optimize what we're doing and become more efficient and deliver more of what our customers or our partners are looking for. If you have an enterprise DAM, all of those things become possible. If you don't, if you have like a bunch of Dropboxes, USB sticks and stuff on memory sticks and so on, you have no visibility of what is going on. And that's the key benefit for enterprises, is those three aspects. Is the control, measurement, and improvement, I think.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. So did knowledge or about the dam, and of course we do agree with everything you was saying. So now back to Max. Or okay, we know that you have a great background experience regarding everything about creative operations since the last 30 years, etc. Since the AWCC started, because as you were saying, you are working for them. So, but finally, what we saw, and we are also witness of this new way of working by designers. So, how do you see finally, and especially since the COVID, the way designers are working today? Because as you said, since so many years we have Photoshop, InDesign, etc. Of course, at the beginning we have some Express things, but by the way, today it's there's no real competition, even if we have some a new one just like Affinity, etc. But most of the time it comes back to Photoshop and InDesign. But how do you see finally here since a couple of time? Because as we know, InDesign, Photoshop requires some skills. Okay, you cannot start without, you need some training, compared to some tools that we know today where it's more, or at least some people are waiting to get something easier to use. So what is your vision regarding this evolution of the way of by creative operation, how they are working with the tools and maybe waiting for something new?
Yeah, when I was at Adobe, we had this, we actually had a team working on some non-traditional tools, and they were working on this sort of phrase, good enough. The idea, Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, it's pretty heavy lifting, learning how to use a tool and using a tool. In today's world where everything is so dynamic and so quick, how do you get content developed quickly without having to have these, highly skilled technical people? Because in many respects, learning Photoshop and Illustrator and those is a very technical thing, as well as a very creative thing. So how do you strip away the technical parts of tools to make it really much easier from a creative point of view? And so I think, you see things like Canva and even, Express, Adobe Express. These tools, they're online. They're not these heavy desktop tools. So they're online, and that makes it easier for people to collaborate. If the tool's online, that means the content's online, and you can store things online, and everything. You can shorten the time from the spark of the idea to getting it out on something, and then collaborate and get people to comment on it. You can apply new technologies like AI to improve and to assist the process. So I think that the obviously in the enterprise tools like the Adobe Creative Cloud are still very, very important. But at the same time, we have to recognize that things are moving faster, and faster means perhaps you need more people and who are perhaps less technically skilled at things like Photoshop, but they're more creatively skilled. And what are the tools that you can provide to them that, and how can you get not only the right tools, but the right content to them? Again, that's, has a lot to do with this, the fact that things are going online. That means the data can be online, so that I can quickly find an asset, I can quickly create an asset, and I can quickly, again, collaborate with one of my colleagues. And so I think those are the areas that that we see happening. And so this whole idea of cloud creativity, I think is really important, and that's just going to continue to grow and explode over time.